What the WWE Universe witnessed on Raw wasn't just another segment. It was a turning point that will be remembered for years. Fans expected the usual spectacle, Brock Lesnar making his grand entrance, intimidating mid-card names, and reinforcing his aura as the Beast incarnate. Instead, they got an ambush that shattered assumptions and reminded everyone that professional wrestling thrives on moments of unpredictability. The energy in the arena shifted the second Lesnar's music hit. But no one, not even the most seasoned fans, could have predicted the storm about to unfold. Brock Lesnar arrives with his aura. Intact as always, Lesnar walked to the ring with the same confidence that has defined him for over 2 decades. Shoulders squared, smirk fixed, and eyes scanning the crowd, he looked every bit the larger-than-life figure who has conquered everyone from The Undertaker to Roman Reigns. On the microphone, he doubled down on his reputation, telling the world that he was still the most dominant force in WWE. For the audience, this was familiar territory. Lesnar being Lesnar, the present and the past rolled into one unstoppable package. But beneath the bravado, there were signs that something different was brewing. The arrival of the hungry new monsters. Just as Lesnar seemed ready to deliver another night of dominance, the lights cut out. When they flickered back on, Bronson stood at the top of the ramp, silent, imposing, and filled with a presence that screamed danger. At 330 pounds of raw power, Reed is one of the most physically intimidating athletes in WWE today, and the crowd immediately felt the shift. If that wasn't enough, moments later, Bron Breaker's music hit, and the young second-generation star came charging out with fire in his eyes. The combination of Reed and Breaker immediately reframed the moment. This wasn't going to be another routine Lesnar segment. This was a challenge to everything he represents. A calculated ambush unfolds. As Reed and Breaker approached the ring, the atmosphere was electric. Lesnar, usually the Predator, suddenly found himself surrounded. For the first time in years, fans could sense genuine tension in his body language. He wasn't afraid. Brock Lesnar doesn't do fear, but he understood he was facing a new kind of storm. When both men slid into the ring, chaos erupted. Reed ducked a clothesline and leveled Lesnar with a shoulder block that sent the Beast sprawling, followed immediately by Breaker's devastating spear. The sight of Lesnar vulnerable, gasping for breath, was something WWE audiences hadn't seen in years, and the eruption from the crowd confirmed they knew they were watching history. Breaking the aura of invincibility. What followed wasn't just physical, it was psychological. Reed and Breaker didn't simply want to beat Lesnar down, they wanted to dismantle the myth that he couldn't be touched. Each move felt carefully chosen. Reed delivering a massive powerbomb that shook the ring, Breaker showing his raw strength with a gorilla press slam. These weren't random attacks. They were statements. They were peeling away the aura Lesnar had cultivated for decades, proving that even the Beast could look human when challenged by hungry competitors, unwilling to play by the old rules. The defining statement in the ring. The climax came when Reed and Breaker delivered a combination that left fans speechless. Reed launched Lesnar skyward in a powerbomb as Breaker came off the top rope to drive him down harder than anyone had before. The ring shook, the arena gasped, and for a brief moment, silence hung over the crowd. When Reed followed up with his devastating splash from the top rope, the message was unmistakable. Standing tall over a fallen Brock Lesnar, Reed and Breaker weren't just two wrestlers looking for TV time. They were declaring themselves the future of WWE, unapologetically and undeniably. The words that drew the line in the sand. After the physical devastation, Reed and Breaker grabbed a microphone to add words to their actions. Reed spoke directly to the camera, saying that Lesnar's time had passed and that the days of part-timers running the show were over. Breaker followed up by reminding everyone that respect had to be earned, and the days of waiting in line were finished. It was less of a promo and more of a mission statement, an announcement to fans, peers, and management that the next generation wasn't going to wait for opportunities to be handed to them. They were going to take them. A divided WWE Universe reacts. As soon as the show went off the air, reactions poured in across social media. Clips of the ambush racked up millions of views with hashtags for both Reed and Breaker trending worldwide. Some fans celebrated the moment, praising the two for finally shaking up a system they felt had been stagnant for too long. Others expressed frustration, worried that WWE was sacrificing its biggest star for a storyline that might not pay off. Yet the universal truth was clear. Everyone was talking about it. In wrestling, that's the ultimate measure of success. The bigger picture of opportunity. For months, both Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker had been delivering inside the ring, but without the opportunities their talents deserved. Reed's unique blend of agility and power made him a standout, while Breakker's lineage and athleticism screamed main event potential. Yet both had been slotted into mid-card positions, waiting for a breakthrough that never came. By targeting Lesnar, they skipped the line and forced themselves into the spotlight. Whether fans approved or not, it was undeniable. They had changed their careers in one night. The money match potential. From a business perspective, the possibilities are endless. Reed versus Lesnar is a battle of raw power versus brute resilience. Breakker versus Lesnar is a generational clash, tailor-made for a marquee event. A handicap match with both Reed and Breakker against Lesnar is the kind of spectacle that sells pay-per-views on name value alone. The storyline potential is massive, and WWE has been handed an opportunity to create fresh stars while reinvigorating its product. The only question is whether the company has the courage to capitalize on it. Lesnar's reputation and the old guard behind the scenes. Reports suggest Lesnar wasn't pleased about how things unfolded. And in some ways, that reaction is understandable. His aura of dominance has been carefully maintained for decades, and in one night, two hungry superstars chipped away at it. Yet history shows that wrestling thrives when veterans elevate new stars. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and John Cena all became icons because they seized their moments. Reed and Breakker are following that same tradition, grabbing the brass ring without waiting for permission. The locker room ripple effect. The attack didn't just affect Lesnar, it sent ripples through the entire locker room. Every performer backstage saw what Reed and Breakker did and realized that change is possible. The message was clear. Nobody is untouchable. If these two could bring Lesnar to his knees, then maybe others could rise up and carve their own path without waiting for opportunities to fall from the sky. It was more than an ambush. It was a cultural shift within WWE itself. A revolution, not just a moment. At its core, what happened on Raw wasn't just an angle or a shock value stunt. It was a revolution disguised as a storyline. It represented the frustrations of countless full-time performers who feel overshadowed by part-time legends. It symbolized the hunger of a new generation that refuses to sit quietly in the shadows. And most importantly, it proved that the WWE audience still craves unpredictability, still thrives on moments that feel unscripted, raw, and real. The road ahead, where WWE goes from here, will define whether this becomes a legendary storyline or a wasted opportunity. If management leans into the momentum, Reed and Breakker could be elevated to permanent main event status, finally giving the company the fresh stars it desperately needs. If they backtrack, punish, or bury them, it will be remembered as one of the biggest missed chances in years. The ball is firmly in WWE's court, and the world is watching to see how they respond. Conclusion: the revolution has begun. In one unforgettable night, Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker turned Raw upside down. By targeting Brock Lesnar, they didn't just attack a man, they attacked a system, a legacy, and an entire philosophy of how WWE operates. Love it or hate it, they forced their way into the spotlight, and the wrestling world will never look at them, or Lesnar, the same way again. The revolution has begun, and the only question left is whether WWE has the courage to embrace it.